At AARP Missouri, we want to support you as you age. But first, you should learn a little more about us. AARP is a nonprofit organization working to help adults 50 plus in Missouri live their lives to the fullest. We advocate for over 700,000 members on important issues such as strengthening Social Security, protecting access to health care, and ensuring everyone has independence and choice as they age. AARP Missouri also offers online tools, resources, and programs you can access right from the comfort of your home. Learn how to protect yourself from fraud and scams with the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Become an active part of AARP Missouri as a virtual volunteer. Find support while caring for a loved one through our caregiving resources. And enjoy a variety of fun virtual events that improve your health and wellness, like our exercise series, Moving It. At AARP Missouri, there's an entire community waiting for you. Learn more about us at aarp.org/mo.
Hello, everybody. I'm Diane Hall with AARP Missouri, and I'd like to welcome you to our 7th Relax and Renew Yoga for All class. Now, for those of you who are keeping count, this would have been our 8th class, but due to the horrendous flooding in southern Missouri, our yoga teacher was unable to join us last week. We're going to be adding a class on Wednesday, April 16th as a makeup class. We hope that you'll be able to join us then. Relax and Renew Yoga for All is part of AARP Missouri's Moving It Fitness series, and we're glad to have all of you with us today. AARP Missouri is pleased to bring you this live virtual event. Now remember, while this class is suitable for many levels of fitness, we know that you know, you know your own limitations better than anyone else. So please do not try to go beyond what you know is right for you. If you have any concerns, please check with your doctor before participating in this or any other AARP fitness offering. Here at AARP Missouri, we work to enhance the lives of all people age 50 plus and their families. We have resources and information online at aarp.org/mo, and you can find information about AARP activities and events wherever you are at aarp.org/near-you. Plus, you can learn about volunteering with AARP Missouri at aarp.org/volunteer. Our efforts to help people live their best lives include many things. Virtual options like this one for caregivers who may face challenges with in-person events, resources for protecting yourself against frauds through online information or local shred events, and working on livable communities that goes way beyond housing and transportation to include social participation that virtual events like this one provide. Now, before we get started, let me remind you to use the Q&A function to ask questions as needed, but also keep in mind that we'll do a dedicated Q&A at the end of the yoga class. And speaking of yoga, I'd like to introduce our instructor, Kat Robinson. Kat has been a yoga teacher for over 20 years and has a long list of qualifications, including certified yoga therapist, integrative oncology yoga from MD Anderson Cancer Center. She's a graduate of the Yoga Teachers College and much more. Kat is passionate about yoga and sees it not as a one-size-fits-all practice, but rather something that can be adapted to people individually. And we are so pleased to have her with us, safe and sound, back with us. Welcome, Kat.
Thank you, Diane. It's good to be back. Thank you for letting me have last week to prepare for the storm. I missed you guys terribly. I would have much rather been here. It's been a week, and I can certainly use my yoga practice today, and I hope you can use it too. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing that I really feel like that I need after all the storms that we had last week, and I know I wasn't isolated in this, that there were storms all across Missouri. It was a really turbulent week for a lot of us. So let's just take a few moments here to just decompress and just relax for a few moments, catch our breath for a few moments. So I'd like you to just go ahead and make sure that you have your feet straight and that your knees are over your ankles. This class today is going to really be about relaxation and just bringing ourselves back to our center. And so sometimes when we need to do that, it's good to just step back to the beginning a little bit and just kind of restructure. So let's make sure those feet are straight, that the knees are over the ankles, and that the hips are in line with the knees. And remember, you can always put your feet on a book or a yoga block if you have it to get that 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 alignment with your knees and your hips. And then you're going to just take that thumb and index finger and lightly put them together. I know you've probably seen in magazines the yogis doing this. It's nothing mystical. It's simply a way, it's a relaxation acupressure point that sends this relaxation response to the brain, which we know is what we want to have throughout our yoga practice. We want to keep that fight or flight, push to the side. We've all lived with that enough for the last few days. Let's just push that away and go into that rest and digest. And so just go ahead and relax your shoulders. And remember, we inhale through the nose and we exhale through the nose in yoga. And I want you to just close your eyes. Sometimes when we close our eyes and we let go of all the external stimulation, it's easier to see what's going on inside of us, whether that be, stress or, maybe we're still kind of on edge about the storms. That PTSD is still there a little bit. We're still trying to cope with that, a lot of us. But whatever your intention is for this, just find that spot for you to just relax and just connect with that breath. And let the shoulders just fall. So many times we think that we're relaxed, but we're still gripping and we're still holding on. And if you are, see if you can just let go. And just take this few moments to connect with your body, connect with your breath, calm the mind. Just take notice of any spots on the body that you feel like you may be holding tension. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our shoulders. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our lower back. But also places like our jawline and our temples and that little spot right between the eyes. We tend to hold tension there as well. So just kind of check in with everything. And if you catch yourself and you find that you're gripping and you're just kind of holding on in any of those places or anywhere in your body, you might even ask yourself why. What is it that you're holding on to? Take one more full breath here. And then go ahead and release your arms down at your side. And we're just going to relax the shoulders a little bit more in the neck, the back of the neck. So we're going to inhale, you're going to sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, you're going to press your hands back down. Remember, it's like the air's thick and you've got to press through it. So you're keeping that resistance in your arms. Inhaling, again, the air is thick. You've got to push your way up through it. So you're keeping that resistance. Exhaling, releasing the arms down at your side. Inhaling, synchronizing the movement with the breath. So as the inhale ends, so should the movement. Exhale, releasing your hands down. As the movement ends, so should the exhale. Let's do one more here. Inhaling and exhaling. This time we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, you're going to twist to the right. You're going to bring your left hand to your right knee. You're going to bring your right hand to the floor behind you, or the chair behind you, the floor behind you, the chair behind you, and take your gaze over that right shoulder. Keep the breath moving. If you feel like you can go deeper into the pose, you inhale, you lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, that's when you twist. So just kind of ride that breath. Of course, we never want to force. We want to keep that resistance out of the body. Just go as far as you can comfortably go, and then breathe. On your next inhale, we're going to come back to center, lengthening up, and exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to the left knee, left hand to the chair behind you. Gaze is over the left shoulder. And again, if you want to go deeper in the twist, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. But again, making sure you're not pushing too hard. We've all pushed pretty hard for the last couple of weeks. So these storms in Missouri have just been outrageous. We've had a very turbulent spring. So we don't want to push in here. We want to keep everything soft and relaxed right now. Let's go ahead and inhale, come back to center. And exhale, pressing your hands down. Really taxing ourselves. And I got to say, as working with the caregivers as we are right now, I got to hand it to you. I could not imagine being a caregiver in those storms and having to try to evacuate somebody that might be in their bed, or that you might have, that may have equipment hooked up to them that you have to do. So I really want you to take some time just to decompress for yourself today. Let's go ahead and inhale that right arm up. As you keep the shoulder down, make sure you're not lifting the shoulder. As you exhale, let's extend over to the left. Press down on the right sit bone. Keep your breath moving. The right sit bone out through the right fingertips. Really get that stretch. Really extend over into it. So you're getting that stretch down the side of your body. You're lifting the rib cage. You're opening the rib cage. You're making more room to breathe. Hold on to your chair if you feel like you might fall out of your chair. We don't want that. The idea here is to feel better, not get hurt. So make sure you're being safe. And then we're going to inhale, bringing that arm up, and exhale, slowly press that hand down. And then we're going to inhale the left arm up, lengthening up, keeping that shoulder down, keeping the breath moving. We're going to exhale over to the right. Now that left sit bone is pressed down, left fingertips all the way from the sit bone to the fingertips. We're stretching it out, opening it up. Keep your breath going. Trying not to eat my microphone here. I'm sorry if I am. And just breathe. Inhaling, coming back up to center, and exhaling, press that hand down. Let's go ahead and roll your shoulders a few times back, lifting and then rolling back nice and deep, working slow and deep into the muscles. And then we're going to roll them forward, same thing, work slow and deep here. We don't want to rush this. We want to open everything up. And then let's go ahead and just find a comfortable spot in the chair. You're going to slide up a little bit, and we're going to bring our right knee up as far as you can. Now remember, you can hold under the knee, you can hold over the knee, or you can use your strap to hold it up. But whatever you do, make sure that it's working for you, that it's going to be comfortable for you, that you can still breathe. Go ahead and rotate that right ankle and point and flex. And spread the toes. And just keep that breath moving. We're going to take that right ankle and we're going to bring it to the top of the left thigh. Go ahead and flex that right foot. So you're protecting your joints when you do that. When you engage the muscles, it helps to protect the joints. Go ahead and take a nice big inhale here, really fill those lungs, and exhale. Bend from the hip joint, not from the waist. You want to bend from that hip joint like you're folding a piece of paper. And then just go ahead and stretch into that right hip. Go ahead and keep that breath moving. Don't hold your breath. If you hold your breath, your body's going to think you're suffocating. And when that happens, it goes into that preservation mode. And when it actually will bring that stress response, of course. If you're suffocating, you're going to be stressed. So your body doesn't know the difference. And so it's going to start producing all those stress chemicals and stress hormones. What we want is we want those relaxation hormones. So don't worry about how deeply you're going. Don't worry about how it looks. It's not, this isn't a contest here. It's not the yoga Olympics. We just want to stretch out. We want to feel better. Go ahead and inhale, bring yourself up. Exhale, release that right leg down. We're going to still stick with the same side here. So you're going to move to the right side of your chair, not so far that you come off the chair, but the left knee is going to be pointing forward. We're going to take the top of our foot and bring our foot down to the floor and be on the top of it. So we're kind of in a runner's lunge here. Now you can keep your hand on your knee, on your left knee. You can swing your arms up if you like, but just kind of stretch in it to open up the legs and the hips a little bit. And of course the ankle, stretching the top of the foot is really good for us. We spend a lot of time on the bottom of the foot, so it's kind of compressing that ankle. This opens everything up. And then we're going to take that same side and we're going to take that right foot and we're going to turn the toes where they're facing out. So you may have to readjust on your chair a little bit. We're going to take the toes where they're facing out. And we're going to go ahead and turn a little bit to bring ourselves into a warrior one pose. So you're going to actually be facing over that right knee. Well, you're going to turn, face over the knee, bring your arms up. Now, if it's hard for you to bring your arms up into the air, you can keep them down. You can bring them onto your chair. Whatever feels good to you, you can bring them out in front of you. Whatever feels good here. Remember, this is your practice, not mine. This is yours. I'm just taking you on the trip here. Wherever you go on the trip once you're there, that's up to you. Just don't hurt yourself. That's the main thing. One more breath here. And then we're going to exhale and you're going to stretch your arms out for warrior two. So you're going to be taking your gaze to the front. You're going to be facing forward. Then you're going to turn your head, just your head, to look over the third fingernail of your right hand. And again, keeping that breath moving. Relax the shoulders. The shoulders tend to creep up in this pose. Just let them relax. And then we're going to take that left hand. You're going to bring it down onto your chair. You're going to take the right hand, turn the palm up, and then you're going to exhale back, taking your gaze up to that hand in the air if you can. If it's hard for you to look up, just look straight ahead. Just find your happy spot. On your next exhale, we're going to bring that right elbow down to the top of your right knee. We're going to bring the left hand up and over. This is called lateral angle pose. Again, I'm trying not to eat my mic here. Lateral angle pose, and it's really good for stretching out the side of the body. I'm sure you're feeling something going on there. Again, keeping that breath moving. Doesn't matter how deeply you go into it. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just enjoy the stretch. Inhaling, coming back up to center. Exhale, release that hand down. And we're gonna come back to the center of our chair. Now I want you to just take a moment. I want you to bring your hands on your knees, close your eyes, and just notice, how does the right leg feel in comparison to the left? I don't want you to judge it. I don't want you to, say, well, I don't really feel that much different. If you do, it's okay. That's fine. So don't worry about it. It doesn't mean you failed yoga if you're not feeling much of a difference. But what I want you to do is I want you to just notice and be aware of what's going on in your own body. So on that note, let's go ahead and bring that left knee up. Now remember, you can hold it on top, on bottom. You can use that strap and just hold that knee into your chest as best as you can. Lift through the spine, lengthen up. You can rotate the ankle in both directions, point and flex, just opening up the joints. Spread your toes. Let your dogs breathe a little bit. I don't know about the rest of you, but I pretty much slept in shoes for 3 days waiting for the tornado sirens to go off so I could go to the basement. It's nice to be barefoot again. You know me, I like to be barefoot. So that was a trying aspect of the storms, was wearing shoes all the time. Take one more breath here. And then on your exhale, we're gonna bring that left ankle to the top of the right thigh. You're gonna flex that left foot, so you're protecting your joints. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, extend forward. And you can take your gaze forward. You can close your eyes and just, again, sometimes it's easier to see what's going on the inside when you just shut off all external stimulation. You just close your eyes, and then you can take a look around inside. Wherever you're at, keep breathing. And then we're gonna go ahead and inhale, come up. Exhale, release that leg down. And we're gonna slide over to the left side of our chair. You're gonna bring that left foot back to the top of the foot. So you're stretching the top of the ankle now. You can bring your arms up. You can bring your hands to your knee. Again, whatever feels good to you here. Just find that spot. Keep the breath moving. And then we're gonna take that same foot, that left foot, and we're gonna turn the toes out. You may have to readjust yourself a little bit here, but we're gonna turn the toes out. You're gonna turn to face that knee, and we're gonna sweep the arms up, coming into our warrior one position. Now, again, if bringing your arms up is too much, bring them to your hips, bring them to the chair, whatever feels good to you here. Because the objective of warrior one, of course, is, warrior one is considered a back bend. That's why we lift through the chest. But it's also a good hip opener. It's good for strengthening. It's just really good for us. So it's really important that you find where it's going to work for you. Keep your breath moving. Don't lose your breath. On your next exhale, we're going to stretch our arms out. You're going to face forward to start with. You're going to get your arms in line with your shoulders without lifting the shoulders. Just stretch them out. And then you're going to turn your gaze, just turn your head to look over the third fingernail of that left hand. Now stretch those arms out like somebody's pulling you in two different directions. I'm sure you can relate to the metaphor. Most of us can, of being pulled in two different directions. So just go ahead and really stretch out here. It's like you're pulling yourself in two different directions. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring that right hand down onto the chair. You're gonna turn the left palm up, and we're gonna exhale that arm up. Now you can take your gaze up to the hand in the air, or you can, take your gaze straight ahead. Wherever it feels best. Take care of your neck. Wherever, if your neck is hurting you, then you wanna do something different. Take care of your neck. And then we're gonna exhale. You're gonna bring that left elbow to the top of your left knee. We're gonna bring that right hand up and over our head. So we're getting this nice lateral stretch here down the side of the body. And again, keeping that breath moving. Don't hold your breath. Stay relaxed. Stay soft and relaxed. And then we're going to inhale, come up. Exhale, release that hand down. And we're going to come back to the center of our chair. And we're going to work on the shoulders a little bit just to release out some tension and release out any built up anxiety that may still be locked up in there. So what you're going to do is I want you to just get your spine tall, and we're going to bring those hands down in line with our hips and just let them just relax. Allow your shoulders to open, allow your elbows to open, and allow your wrists to open. Let them become heavy so your joints just begin to open. And then we're going to sweep the hands up, and you're going to interlace your fingers, and we're going to turn our palms up to the ceiling. We're going to take a full inhale here, and as you exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, press the arms up. Exhaling, bending the elbows. Inhaling, press the arms up. 2 more here. Bend the elbows. Inhaling, press the arms up. Last time here. Bend the elbows. And press the arms up. This time we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to hold. And I want you to just separate the elbows as much as you can, opening up through the chest, opening up through the shoulders, expanding and lengthening up through the crown of the head, keeping the breath moving. There may be a little shaking going on. That's okay. That means it's working. If you're shaking, that means it's working. A lot of people think that shaking means that you're doing it wrong. No, that means you're doing it right. Go ahead and exhale. Slowly release those arms down. And feel all that energy run back into your arms and your hands and your fingers. Wiggle your fingers a little bit and get that energy going back into the arms and the hands. Again, roll those shoulders back. Let's do 3 times here. And then reverse it and go forward 3 times. And then we're just going to take what we would normally call a child's pose on the floor. It may be a little more, it may be different at sitting in a chair than what you might be used to in a class. If you can get up and down on the floor, off the floor, and you know what a child's pose is, you may go ahead and do it that way. But I want you to just bring your elbows onto your knees, and then you're just going to fold forward, drop your head down, and relax the back of the neck. Relax your shoulders. Let the area between the shoulder blades expand and widen. And just take some nice deep breaths here. And then we're going to go ahead and bring ourselves back up to sit, releasing the arms. Okay, let's strengthen a little bit because, strength is really good for us. It's, not just physically, of course, we know that strength is good for us physically, but strong body is a strong mind and vice versa. You can't separate the two. What affects the body affects the mind and vice versa. So what we want to do is we want to just go ahead and strengthen the body so the mind follows suit. And after, the week we've had, let's strengthen up a little bit. So I want you to hold on to the back of your chair and you're just going to bring your feet up. It doesn't matter how high, if you can just get them a couple of inches off the floor, but I want you to hold that belly tight so you're strengthening the back. Now, if you start feeling the tops of your thighs really start to burn and, you're going to feel the tops of your thighs, that's going to happen. But if they're really burning, then you're overcompensating with those muscles instead of using the abdominal muscles. So I want you to pull that belly in a little bit more and hold tight there like somebody's tightening a corset around you and it's holding you tight. Go ahead and exhale, release. How'd we do? That's kind of, a seated chair pose, boat pose, which is, actually a very intense pose when you're doing it on the floor. I found out that it's just almost as intense doing it in a chair. So let's do it again. Boat pose, I always say boat pose is like eating one potato chip. You can't just take one. Let's go ahead and do it again. Pull those knees up, keep the spine lengthening, relax the shoulders, put a smile on your face, and just know how strong you're getting. Now, if you can, release your hands. Woo! That'll get you going. Keep that breath moving. And exhale, release. Very good. Go ahead and just kick your legs out in front of you a little bit and put a little bit of wiggle into them to get that blood moving around. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stretch one leg out. And we're going to keep the other knee pulled in. And just go ahead and point and flex that right foot. We're going to just take the right leg out, point and flex the foot. And then we're going to bring our hands behind our right knee and we're going to bend the knee and stretch the leg. Bend the knee and stretch the leg. One more time. Bend the knee and stretch the leg. Go ahead and release. And then we're going to do the other side. So you're going to stretch that left leg out. You can point and flex the foot, rotate the ankle, find what's going to work for you here. Breathe into it. Keep the spine tall. Just really relax into it. I know that sometimes this can be a struggle, but just do the best you can. And then we're going to bring our hands behind the knee and we're going to bend the knee and stretch. Bend and stretch. One more time. Bend and stretch and release down. Now we kind of worked a little bit with both legs being up in the air. Hold on to your chair, hold on to your hats, hold on to the chair. We're going to stretch both legs out and bend the knees. Out and bend. One more time. Out and bend and release. Let's take another child's pose. Drop your head down, relax into it. Let the blood flow into your legs, into your feet. Keep your breath moving. And I want you to just notice every time you inhale, if you can feel your spine rise. And every time you exhale, see if you can feel the spine fall. So just go ahead and take those inhales and exhales. And then we're going to inhale, bring yourself up. Now we're going to take a forward fold here that's going to be a little bit like child's pose, except we're not going to have the elbows on our knees. We're going to bring our elbows down at the side. Now don't topple out of your chair. Make sure you stay safe, but we're just going to fold forward, releasing our hands down as far as they'll go, and then we're going to inhale, come back up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come back up. One more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come back up. This time we're going to take a forward fold and we're going to hold it. So exhale, fold. Hold here. If you can bring your fingers to your toes, go ahead. Give yourself a little stretch here. But again, that's not important. This is never about how far you can go into a pose. Ever, ever, ever. It's just that if you can, go ahead. It's not a problem. But if you can't, it doesn't mean you failed yoga. It just means that you have more stretching and opening to do. And sometimes all the stretching in the world isn't going to make a difference. It's just how we're built. Some people are hyper flexible in their joints and some people aren't. We just have to be accepting of who we are when we're there. And then we're going to go ahead and inhale. When we come up, you're going to sweep your arms up nice and tall. And exhaling, pressing your hands down. We're going to go ahead and bring our right hand to our left knee. We're going to bring our left hand to our right knee. We're going to bring our left foot over our right ankle, and we're going to take another twist here. Now, this is a little bit more open twist. We can open a little bit more through the chest, keeping the breath moving. And then keeping the feet where they are, you're going to switch sides, and we're going to do the other side. So you're going to bring your right hand to your left knee. And if you notice, this is a little tighter twist when we go this direction. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going to bring the right ankle over the left ankle, and then we're going to bring that right hand to the left knee, left hand back behind us. We're going to do this open twist here. So we're just going to open up, expand through the chest. And then we're going to switch sides. We're going to bring that left hand to the right knee, right hand behind us. And if you notice, it's a little deeper, a little more intense this direction. And then we're going to come back to center. Go ahead and release your feet, release your arms. Let's take a few shrugs, maybe move your head around a little bit, drop your head and lift it a few times. Let's just go with that for a minute because I noticed something on myself as I was doing that. So let's just see where we're all at here. Let's go ahead and drop your head down. Let's bring that right hand up to the crown of your head, the top of your head, and just go ahead and let it become a weight and see if it can open up the neck. I was feeling an awful lot of tension on the right side of my neck. So let's see if we can just open that up. And then we're going to inhale, bring your head up, release that right hand down. And then you exhale, drop the head down, bring the left hand up to the crown of your head. Again, just kind of finding those tight spots, breathing into it. Inhale, bring the head up. And exhale, release your hand down. Go ahead and get comfortable in your chair. Relax the shoulders and close your eyes. Make sure your ankles are underneath your knees and that you still have this good alignment. And just relax. Just let your body soften and relax. And you may bring your awareness down to your feet and relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your shins and your calves. Relax your kneecaps and the backs of your knees. Relax your thighs and the backs of your thighs. Relax your buttocks and your pelvic floor. Relax your abdomen and your lower back. Relax your chest and your upper back. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms. Relax your hands and your fingers. Relax your throat and the back of your neck. Relax your face, your jawline, your mouth. Relax your eyes and the space between your eyes. Relax your forehead and your temples. Relax your scalp, relax your skull, and relax the crown of your head. Just relax. Just relax. And I want to thank all of you for being here today. You may draw your awareness back to your breath. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. It's hard to believe that we only have one class left. It's gone fast, actually. And I hope that you all have enjoyed it as much as I have. So until next week, I look forward to seeing all of you again here next week. Until then, namaste. The divine in me bows to the divine in you. And I hope everybody was safe during the storms. I hope everybody did well. And thank you again for giving me the day off so I could prepare and get ready to go for it. And again, namaste.
Namaste to you as well, Kat. Thank you so much for that. That was lovely and relaxing. And my physical therapist thanks you. I believe the two of you are colluding behind my back to make this better. People are bound to have a few questions. Please use the Q&A function and we will put those questions to Kat. But until people start popping in with their questions, here's a question that I have for you, Kat. When you do yoga, as you do, what is the best time of, I know you're going to say any time of day is great to do yoga, but if you were going to pick like the most optimal time to set yourself up for good flexibility and energy and all those kinds of things, when is the best time to do yoga?
I think it's probably in the morning. When we
Okay.
get up in the morning, there's actually a very, very good video on YouTube from a man named Gil Headley, who is a forensic pathologist. It's called the fuzz speech. It's a little entertaining too. But when we sleep at night, we actually will fuzz over in our tissues. We get this fuzz like substance. That's why when we get up in the morning, we want to stretch and we want to move and we want to break that fuzz. So probably first thing in the morning when we get up, take a few stretches. I like to actually shower first because I feel like the warm water kind of loosens me up and gets my blood pumping a little bit. But when I first get up, I mean, we all pretty much do. I think we all stretch when we first wake up in the morning. But then after maybe your shower and you've warmed up a little bit, warmed your muscles up a little bit, that's always a good time to do it. And for me, I like doing it in the morning because it kind of sets me up for my day. It wakes me up, it gets my blood going, it gets me energized. And then you have the rest of your day to, do whatever you want to do. You've gotten your practice over with, you've gotten your exercise over with. Now, for myself, I find myself, even though I do this in the morning, I find myself needing it throughout the day too. Just those stretches throughout the day. Fortunately, I have classes most days, so I get to do that. I get to come in and stretch. But if I don't, like on the weekends, I'll catch myself in my chair just stretching. And it's almost like my body just almost takes over. I don't even notice sometimes that I'm doing it. But in the mornings are really beneficial because it doesn't just wake up your body, it wakes up your brain too. Like I said, you can't separate those two things. So when you get up in the morning and you do your practice and then maybe have a nice breakfast afterwards, and it really energizes you, and it takes care of all those tight spots that may be fuzzed over. Because if you don't do that, say for instance, I fell down the stairs a few years ago and I hurt my left shoulder, and even though it really hurt, I still made sure that I did my exercises every day, because that fuzz will build if you don't move. So if you've got an injury and you can't move it, you're going to get an abundance of that fuzz that just kind of locks you in. And sometimes you have to have surgery to release it, to like take a scalpel and release it. But usually we can stretch it out and open it up. And resistance bands work good, for opening up anything that may be too tight. So don't be afraid to use your toys with your yoga practice, your blocks, your straps, resistance bands, weights, small hand weights work really good. But mornings are good. Back to the original question, mornings are always good for me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Got a bunch of questions. I knew I would.
Okay, good.
But first, comments as well. Cindy says, I've enjoyed these sessions so much that the time flies by.
It does.
Anonymous, so some people don't put my names in. Will the recording be available after the sessions? Yes, they will. It'll be on the AARP Missouri YouTube channel. It's on a couple of different playlists, and you'll be able to find it on the Moving It playlist easily. And it will come out in the follow-up email that you'll receive because you registered. Deb says, best AARP yoga instructor in my view. Question.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. That's pretty high praise. Thank you.
Yes. Her question is, sometimes I get muscle cramps in my back or other during the stretches. Does this subside over time while doing the exercises?
It might, but if it doesn't, you might talk to your doctor and see maybe if you're low on magnesium or calcium, or even copper. Some of these things can cause you to have, muscle spasms. Make sure you're hydrated. Drink a lot of water. That's really, really important to keep your tissues hydrated. But if it's something that persists, there could be something else going on. It's not unusual for people to have muscle cramps in the beginning because your muscles aren't used to necessarily working like this. But yeah, if it persists, you need to talk to your doctor about it.
Okay, good advice. Yeah, doctor's always good advice. Jeanette wants to says, would you please show child's pose on the floor? I did this while you were talking about it because I do know child's pose, and I realized how much I need to vacuum the office carpet. Just saying.
Yeah.
And can you maybe do that sideways, Kat, so we can actually, there you go.
And you may not be able to get your head to the floor. That's where the block comes in. You can turn it different ways and bring your head onto a block. You can bring your arms out in front of you. You can bring them back. You can bring them behind your back. You can put a pillow under your head. And I'm going to tell you on this child's pose, if you have a hard time sleeping at night, child's pose is great for insomnia. It's great for insomnia. So my recommendation, if you have any type of sleep problems, don't turn on your light, but maybe just turn over on your bed and just do a child's pose for a few minutes. And it does help to bring on that sleepiness and that relaxation response.
Yeah, think of every little baby that you've seen in their crib with their little bottoms in the air, stretched out like that.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Another person.
It's actually pretty primordial. Go ahead.
Big word.
Go ahead,
okay.
Diane.
Exercises for sciatica. And I did the knee to chest and it helped. Feeling sure there are others that will help too.
If you can get up and down off the floor, one of the best exercises, and I can demonstrate it if you'd like me to, is a lying spinal twist. And I'll turn to the side. I'll do it both directions so you can see. But you just lie on the floor. And you I'm going to start with the right side. You bring the right foot to the top of the left knee. Then bring your left hand up and then just drop that knee over to the left. And then you can turn your head to the right. And it just kind of rings out your spine. And it will help pull that sciatic nerve back in where it belongs. This is really a godsend for people who have sciatic pain. It can really relieve it. And then if you wanted to do, of course you need to do both sides. So then, you're just going to stretch over to the other side. Don't worry about whether or not your knee goes to the floor. You can do this lying on a bed. You don't have to get up and down off the floor. You can do it lying on a bed. But, just stretch as far as you can stretch. If it starts to cause you any discomfort at all, just back off of it a little bit. And and then, just kind of read your body. Let your body take the lead on it. But that's a really good one.
Once again, Kat is in collusion with my physical therapy gal.
It's funny how much yoga therapy and physical therapy have in common.
Yeah, she's working on the hip stretch from her, but same open thing.
And, my chiropractor told me that I needed to do what we call up dogs that are on the floor, but he called it something completely, some maneuver. And, and I said, well, you're going to have to show me what it is. And I said, oh, up dog. So,
yeah, so I'm going to skip a couple of questions and come back. Someone says, show that again, turn 90 degrees. I think the twist thingy is what they're talking about.
Okay. So, okay, I'll do this side and you're going to just come over. Is that what they wanted to see?
I think so. I think that shows a little bit better. It's a little bit, you've got a dark yoga mat and you've got on dark leggings, so it makes it a little hard for me to differentiate a little bit. But yes, right. I think that shows it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Also, Paula says thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Jay wants you to please repeat the name of the yoga video that you just mentioned, which has been a couple of minutes now because we've done a few questions. But
it's not really a yoga video. It's actually this pathologist. It's called the fuzz speech. If there's some way I can get it to Diane, maybe it can be posted. I don't know. but it's just called the Fuzz Speech. Gil Hedley, Gilhedley, is the instructor on it. And he talks about how this happens and why it happens. It's not very long, it's about 5 minutes. So, but very good information.
Excellent. All right. Deb says, thank you. I hydrate a lot, but I will try magnesium. I keep hearing about this from a lot of places.
Yeah. Know your numbers though, because sometimes, you know, you might not need it. That may not be what it is that you need. You know, I had a situation happen a little while back that I was having some problems with my bones and my joints, and the doctor gave me the, you know, kind of a cookie cutter type recommendation of taking calcium. I had taken a mineral test just a couple of years before. My calcium was perfect, but because I was getting older, they thought that, okay, I might need to do that. I started taking the calcium. I ended up having outrageous heartburn and all these other symptoms that came up. I took another mineral test. My calcium was off the charts. It was way high, which is actually very dangerous. It can go to your heart, it can go to your kidneys. What I was low on was copper. And copper can really mess with your joints and if you're low on it. And I'm kind of chronically low on it. I mean, every test that I've taken this came back that I'm low on copper. So I ditched the calcium and started taking the copper. So know your numbers. That's really, really important. Otherwise, it's almost like taking pot shots in the dark. You may end up getting more than you need and it may not help you at all. So take a mineral test. Find somebody that can just take a snip of your hair and do a mineral test, and you'll find out exactly what it is that you need.
Yeah, and with most things, you know, with a radical new exercise plan, with a big dietary change, the AARP thing is make sure you check with your doctor first.
That's right. You always need to check with your doctor. You always need to know your numbers. You know, it's just so many things are given out and just, oh, take this, take this. And because they're natural, we think, okay, they're safe. But, you know, hemlock's natural. It's not exactly safe. So we don't want to take that either. So it is always just really good to know what your numbers are.
Yeah, think about all those medical forms that you fill out where now they say not just what medications are you taking, to ask about your over-the-counter supplements as well, because that all plays a role. So please
That's right. And they can interact with each other. If you're on medications and you start taking supplements, it could, you know, hurt your medications. It could hurt you. So just always make sure before you start any new type of thing that you check with your doctor first.
Yes, absolutely. Looks like Jana has already looked up the fuzz speech, which is awesome. Link out there. Thank you very much. Sharon H says, thank you. And Colleen says, is this yoga class with this instructor going to be available again? That's a good question. I don't know. We have not talked about that yet, but we
have not. Yeah.
About
But the videos will be, no matter what, the videos will be available.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we haven't talked about it yet, but I don't know. We'll see.
And I'm going to ask one more question because we are almost out of time, but I have one more question. So we do have the videos available, right? So they're on there. Doing the same videos over and over, good, bad, indifferent, what?
You know, I say mix and match, you know, mix it up. You can do them in succession, you know, over and over and over. When I first started doing yoga, I did the same videos over and over and over, and it was okay, except it got kind of boring. It got a little bit boring to me. I'm one of these that I like to kind of mix it up a little bit. But there are practices out there. There are styles of yoga where it is the exact same poses every time in a certain sequence for, you know, for instance, Bikram yoga is one of them that they do the same. I think it's 27 poses in the same order in each class. I would lose my mind after a while if I had to do that. It would not be fun to me. So I think that's just a matter of preference. You know, you're going to feel the benefit. It just may be something that you want to stir it up a little bit and maybe kind of switch videos here and there, maybe have the first video on the 5th day, you know, just kind of switch it up and it might be better for you.
Awesome. Okay. Last comment. from Ellen says, very enjoyable class. Thank you so much. My first time here. So yay, welcome,
Oh,
Ellen.
good.
All right.
Welcome.
Well, and when we are right up against 3 o'clock, so thank you so much for your time, Kat, and for leading us through the
Thank you.
class.
Yeah, thank you.
Um,
Thank you all.
And thank all of you for joining us for the Relax and Renew Yoga for All. And we want to invite you to come back next week to continue your self-care journey. That'll be our last one.
Yep.
And I think today is the last day to register for our Moving It sweepstakes. So you might want to go to aarp.org/movingit and check that out. Until next week, please be as good to yourself as you are to others. And we want to thank you for spending part of your day with us.